Okay, I'm going to use a letter from Birmingham jail by Martin Luther King to give you examples of ethos, pathos, logos. Martin Luther King wrote this letter when he was jailed in Birmingham during a civil rights campaign in response to criticism that he received or the campaign received from clergymen. Okay, here we go. The beginning of the letter opens with an example of ethos, credibility. He's establishing his credibility, his authority in this matter. And a good example of this is, let me take a highlighter here, is this right here. I have the honor of serving as president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, an organization operating in every southern state with headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. He continues on in the paragraph by establishing this leadership conference. We have some 85 affiliated organizations across the state, and one of them is the Alabama Christian Movement for Human Rights. When you're trying to convince somebody, it's very important that you establish your credibility. He does that by talking about his credentials. He's an educated man, and he mentions all this in the letter. The letter is quite long, and in this part of the letter, he begins to establish or to appeal to the reader's emotions by painting very graphic images of the suffering, the humiliation, the injustices that were wrought upon the African Americans. For instance, he says here, "But when you have seen vicious mobs lynch your mothers and fathers at will and drown your sisters and brothers at whim, when you have seen hate-filled policemen curse, kick, and even kill your black brothers and sisters, when you see the vast majority of your 20 million Negro brothers smothering in an airtight cage of poverty in the midst of an affluent society, when you suddenly find your tongue twisted and your speech stammering as you seek to explain to your 6-year-old daughter why she can't go to the public amusement park that has just been advertised on television, and see tears welling up in her eyes when she is told that Funtown is closed to colored children, and see ominous clouds of inferiority beginning to form in her little mental sky." All of this, he continues, and you're painting that picture of the suffering, of the injustices wrought. And it's very long, actually. So all this right here, and even further down, is an example of Martin Luther King using pathos to appeal to the reader's emotions. All right, now we're further down the letter here, and this right here is an appeal to the reader's logic, to the reader's sense of reason. He's talking about laws. Let me read. "You express a great deal of anxiety over our willingness to break laws. There is certainly a legitimate concern, since we so diligently urge people to obey the Supreme Court's decision of 1954 outlawing segregation in the public schools. At first glance, it may seem rather paradoxical for us consciously to break laws. One may want to ask, how can you support breaking some laws and obeying others? The answer lies in the fact that there are two types of laws, just and unjust. I would be the first to advocate obeying just laws. One has not only a legal but a moral responsibility to obey just laws. Conversely, One has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws. Now, here he mentions the word moral, so you can actually say that not only is he using logos here, but he's also going back and using ethos, ethicals, appealing to someone's ethics, someone's sense of wrong and right. Okay, here within one paragraph, I have highlighted examples of each ethos, pathos, and logos. The first one is ethos. I wish I had commended the Negro sit-inners and demonstrators of Birmingham for their sublime courage, their willingness to suffer, and their amazing discipline in the midst of great provocation. This is ethos because it was right. It was morally right to stand up for what you believed or what they believed. Okay. The next one is there will be the old, oppressed, battered Negro woman. Here he is again, bringing in the images, the visuals, to appeal to the reader's emotions. Pathos. My feet is tired, but my soul is at rest. And the last one, logos, logic, reason. We have words like democracy, the formulation of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. All men were created equal. American dream, sacred values in our Judeo-Christian heritage. Now, this one right here, we could actually also count as ethos and logos. All right, if you have any questions, now's the time.